Hey everyone, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. Today, we're going to be talking about gold making. Having gold is very handy, especially in a world where raid materials are as expensive as they are today, and especially with the potential of Blizzard making WoW Token more useful in the future. Today's video is going to be about making gold in a way that requires next to zero additional effort on top of what you're already doing. My goal here is to come up with a gold making setup that will earn you lots of gold just by going about your normal business using as little auction house kind of goblining and time as is possible. The idea here is that you're already playing the game and we want to squeeze as much potential out of the stuff that you're already doing. If you want loads of gold quick, just go mad with herbalism. This video though is about making a bit more money every single day with not much extra effort. So the first thing we need to cover is professions. Now the clear choices here are mining and herbalism. Both make excellent money, but they're a little bit more effort, you know, you have to run to the left a little bit. That was actually a bit too much work for me. I don't particularly enjoy grinding out materials, so my choices are actually enchanting plus a gathering profession, with skinning being the choice for extreme laziness, and I'll explain why later. So Legion throws a lot of gear at you, between repeating your world quests and doing dungeons and stuff like that, my bags are usually crammed full of blue and epic items. Disenchanting these is one click per item, it's not that much work, and the materials are worth a lot more than the vendor price of the item. It's pretty darn simple, honestly. Normally a Leylite shard, which comes from a blue, is about 70 gold. Chaos Crystal on my server was 250, I've seen them north of 400 though. You know, by this stage, most of the gear that you're getting from your world quests is probably epic, so it will disenchant into a more valuable Chaos Crystal. Now you can go and make more money with actual enchanting, you know, making enchants, but that's not the purpose of this guide. This is about zero extra effort gold making, therefore you might just be selling the mats. Now the second one is skinning. Why? Well, once again, you know, you often kill things that they can be skinned. It's basically no extra effort to right click on them to get a little bit more cash. Now you do want to progress through the skinning quest so that you can loot the bags from the stomach bags or whatever from the things that you skin. And there's also an item that you get through the Legion skinning quests which lets you skin corpses from 40 yards away. So that's pretty cool, and in many cases you won't even have to run to some of the mobs that you've AoE'd down. That said, if you want more money and you're okay with, you know, running off to the left a bit whenever you see a node of the map, herbalism is a brilliant option. The second topic then is shoulder enchants. So these are a new thing that were added in Legion. You basically put them on your shoulder and they will give you a chance of having a bag of loot drop from your kills. The content of the bag depends on the type of enchant that you use, and the best way to farm these is technically apparently repeated heroic dungeons, but what I have found is that you basically get 3 per hour no matter what you're doing, and they kind of normalize it that way. Now these enchants are just an extra little bit of passive gold. These little loot bag loot things will appear in your bags, they'll drop off mobs. And what you want to do with these materials? Well, the easiest thing to do is just to chuck them on the AH. I'd recommend using an add-on like Auctionator to aid you in that process. If you want, there are more advanced things you can do with the materials, but again, this is about passive gold making, so you can just sell them on the AH. So, which enchant to use? That was a big question for me. I did a little bit of research, and overall, the best one for me was the Boon of the Harvester. That will often give you herbs, fish, things like that. They go for a pretty decent price, and I find they're a very safe bet. You can go for the Boon of the Gem Finder, because if you proc a rare gem, it will be worth a lot of gold, but again, you know, there's quite a lot of RNG there. I was finding maybe, you know, I was getting about 3 or 4 an hour. You can also go with the Blood Hunter one, if you want to get some Bloods of Sargeras. Now, there are good ways to use the Bloods, which I'll talk about later on in the video. That really does depend on your server though. I'd say any one of those 3 is a pretty good choice overall though, and it just depends on the prices on your server. So with the enchants covered, let's talk about Order Hall Champions. You will want to use an Order Hall Champion with 2 items that will reward gold upon completing a world quest when that champion is your battle companion. While it doesn't seem like much doing say 12 world quests with both of these on, it's going to give you 500 extra gold for literally no extra work. The amount of money that you make from this is kind of variable though, because it depends on the amount of content that you do, so if you're a big world quester, this is a really good one. Now I'm going to stop here a little bit and talk about the results so far. I'm actually still setting up the character that I want to be properly doing this on, so what I actually did for the sake of this video and getting you the results before I kind of break for the holidays is I just did a whole bunch of content on my main hunter. So basically I did 3 emissary quests, every gear quest, most of the AP quests that were on the map. I normally do all of the gear quests because, well, unless the stats are really terrible, because they can Titanforge and that can give you a pretty nice upgrade. Overall though, I did 17 world quests in my quick test, and in total I then did the 3 emissary quests as well. The results are up on the screen. Basically, with optimizations, you're making about 6,000 gold from the amount of content that I did. Without optimizations, you're looking at about 1k gold. So you're getting a good few thousand more gold for doing like less than a few minutes of extra work, and this is per character as well. Now I understand I did do 3 emissary caches there, which does kind of like bulk up, so you know, like what the numbers look like, but again, when you average this out across all of your characters, now I only got 2 bags. I think I was very close to getting another one though. Overall, it seems like if you're consistently killing things, you get like 3 or 4 an hour. I only got 2. So, you know, each bag is worth about 1k, even with the herb prices being kind of low on my server. I found that was quite good, though. I also did this without a gathering profession because, as I said, I was doing the testing on my main. I didn't want to drop any of the professions on it. So, you know, add in a bit more gold on top for, you know, having a gathering profession like skinning or herbalism in this. But overall, you can quite clearly see doing a few little extra bits of work actually really does give you a good bit more gold. Okay, let's talk about Bloods of Sargeras. I mentioned them a little bit earlier, and it's time to actually talk about how to use them properly. So patch 7.1.5 did add a new vendor in Dalaran who will let you convert your Bloods into crafting materials, or order hall resources. You can use the Bloods to craft enchants if you took my advice and went with enchanting, but if you're not really interested in that sort of thing, you can just turn them into whatever crafting material is worth the most on your server. Now, if you also happen to have another profession, you can do one of the many obliterum shuffles. These generally do require professions, but basically you just make an item with the Bloods, you obliterate it. The Titan Spike relic is a pretty good one, as is the Infernal Alchemist Stone if you are an alchemist. So you can do some sort of obliterum shuffle there. It might work in your server, might not, it all depends on the economy. Or you can just do the lazy thing, turn it into whatever you know, crafting materials worth the most, and just throw it up in the auction house. Okay, so now that our characters are set up, I'm going to refer you to a video that I did a while back on order hall gold making. The long and short of it here is that once you level up your champions, you'll start getting missions spawning for you that drop between like 600 and 1,000 gold. Now, if you complete those with the bonus reward, which you pretty much always will get the bonus if you've set yourself up right, then you're getting like 1,500 gold per mission. I'm finding, you know, you pretty much get one of those like per day per character overall. So if you're doing multiple alts there, that's actually getting you quite a lot of gold. Now, if you find yourself running out of order hall resources on your alts, you can use the Bloods of Sargeras on your main to purchase the account-wide order hall resource item from the Blood vendor in Dalaran. So you can do that to get all of your alts okay with the order hall resources so they can still do the missions. And this also works quite well with the companion app, so you can still do this on your phone if you're not at the computer. Finally, I'm just going to mention some cooldowns. This is one of the reasons why I actually have alchemy on my main. So you can use the cloth to herb transmute to make a very, very strong return on investment. It is on a 1-day cooldown, which kind of sucks, and the other thing that sucks is you unlock it randomly by doing your wild transmutation. I haven't unlocked it yet, unfortunately, but it will become a part of my sort of daily gold making ritual soon enough. But yeah, that pretty much is it. This is a very simple video, a simple gold making plan. There's no bullshit involved. It's pretty much all guaranteed stuff, and it'll get you some extra cash with almost no effort. I'd say putting in another maybe 5 minutes of work per character that you're doing stuff on will, it'll probably give you about an extra 1,000 gold per day from the order hall mission stuff, maybe an extra 2,000 gold per day from your actual world quests, and that doesn't seem like a crazy amount. You know, if you think about it, if you're making, say, 2,500 extra gold per character per day by doing pretty much no work, then with 2 characters, let's just assume that's all you're playing, you're going to actually end up getting like an extra 100 to 150,000 gold in a 1-month period, which I think is pretty damn sweet.